to all of my Leos. So please make sure to get my book at Amazon or Barnes & Noble. Well, Amazon. I'm always saying that. Amazon.com, the link to that is in the description box below. Also, if this reading resonated with you and you'd like to contact me for a personal reading, my email address, Kareemspiritworks, and my website, in which you can go to that, pay on the website, but you can also contact me, like I said, through my email, and we can definitely go from there too. So you have two forms or two ways of communicating with me. But let's get into this. So what I'm seeing here is you have the Five of Swords, the Three of Swords, then you have the Fool, the Knight of Swords, the Page of Wands, the Six of Cups, Four of Pentacles, okay, Three of Cups, okay, the Star, and then last but not least, you have the Knight of Pentacles. So what I'm seeing here, So what I'm seeing here for you Leos is the Five of Swords is really a card of confrontation between yourself and someone else. So the Five of Swords usually represents something that is left behind, right? Something that you must learn to detach yourself from, which is, and it's quite ironic because the very same thing that you need to detach yourself from is the Three of Swords. So usually in most major arcana, the Three of Swords, just like this one, it represents heartbreak, right? Pain and setback. And considering that this is a love tarot reading, you may be asking yourself, what exactly does this have to do with anything? Well, when swords are pointed down the way that they are in this tarot deck, right? When swords in the tarot system are pointed down, they mark a boundary, right? When swords are pointed up, it means they're ready to fight. So, among with other things, right? But I'm just giving you one layer among many. So the Three of Swords represents, yes, this is about heartbreak, but it represents you Leos doing something with that pain that you've been dealt with, that you Leos have been kind of learning how to sit in for a while and figure out what exactly was going on and understanding where the boundaries need to be. So the thing is that the Fool represents how, the Fool represents this being a situation for you where this is you Leos really learning how to let that dirt fly off your shoulder, right? The silly games that people play, like, so many people like playing, the weakest, and I can prove this, the weakest people are always the ones that got to play all these games. All these goofy, all these goofy, silly little games and stuff like this, that people play. And then they act as if like, somehow, they're really doing something when in actuality they're painting their own selves into a corner. But they're so goofy, they don't even really know how to understand, that they're ultimately painting themselves into a corner, and that long term, they're not really going to be in a place where they want to be. But as long as they're willing to have fun now, then that's what it is. So the Knight of Swords represents how this being a situation for you Leos, where you Leos pretty much have decided to actually start living like this. I just see a whole new way of living coming in for you Leos. It's an entirely new perspective. And the perspective is, you're basically saying, who cares, right? You're basically learning how to let go even more of this stuff. And you're learning, and you're learning that, to kind of take relationships a little bit more, jokingly, because the comedy skits that's out here is absolutely freaking hilarious. I'm not even gonna lie. And the Page of Wands is about, and that's when it is that you're gonna start to find your own inner knowing, right? Because see, fire signs, and somebody had actually said this before. I forgot who it was in particular, but if I can remember them, I'll shout them out. I forgot who it was, but the point is that this person basically was breaking down how fire signs represent bravery, and it represents how the fire signs have to learn to ultimately go from being from a state of cowardice when they're young, right, to growing up and learning how to essentially face their fears, so that when they reach a certain age, they don't really have a whole lot of, they're not really afraid of a whole lot, if anything, because they've been through and seen so many different things, them and water signs, so many different things, to the point where it makes them quite stonewall, it makes them quite stone-faced in the face of people, otherwise. And that's, and me having an Aries moon, having a lot of Leo on my chart, Leo in like 3 different, Leo with in 3 different planets and stuff like this. Yeah. So with that being said, a lot of you Leos have essentially learned to develop that heart of the lion, right? And the 6 of Cups is that when you care less, when you have that, when you have that less, when you have that nonchalant attitude, right? That careless attitude with others, because, especially with people who, who have no decency about them, that's when a lot of people gonna be on your stuff, because a lot of people are gonna want to know, well, how come it is that you don't really care about them anymore? And that's the ignorance that's the ignorance that's baked into the cake. That's the ignorance that's baked into a cake. People are out here playing games with you Leos, right? They're being hyenas, and they're forgetting what it is that lions who still have their instincts do to hyenas, right? Because the story of the hyena and the lion is, the hyena essentially worked its way up to take the food from the lion, and then the lion got up and mauled that hyena, and to prove its point. And then the other hyenas was looking, and they was like, what happened? Because the hyena that worked its way up to take the food away from the lion thought, I'm gonna just take the food away and the lion is gonna stop being a lion for me. And it's like, no, that's still a lion, regardless of whether it purrs, regardless of whether you think of it as being your friend. It's still a wild animal. It's still a lion. It still has its instincts. Anything with teeth bites. So considering that you Leos are lions, because it's y'all who I'm talking about, people who thought of you, people who hated on you and thought of you as being, a pushover. I don't know why they thought that, but they thought of you as being a pushover or whatnot. With your live and let live, more of your live and let live mentality, and the fact that you care even less than what you did before, yeah, that's really getting to them now. Because now it's like, they want to come back, but they know good and well that they're not going to be able to. But they're still going to try. But the 4 of Pentacles represents, if you Leos decide, I will say this, if you Leos decide to have these people in your life, you're going to have to start charging them. Yeah, you're going to have to start charging them, because stop allowing people to be in your life for free and they're screw ups. Start charging these people. Look, you need to break me off some money. Oh, I don't have any money. Well, then get out of here. Go on, get out of here. Well, that's messed up. Do you really want to talk about what's messed up and what's not? And then the Three of Cups is, then they're going to start to understand respect. They want all this forgiveness, but you need to understand, my dear Leos, that they need to atone on top of that. They need to actually put in some form of work on top of that. It's not enough. Let me turn this on. It's not enough for them to say whatever and talk like they understand you and all this other type of crap, while at the same time them not putting in any kind of work. It's time for them to invest. They're gonna have to put skin in the game. They better dedicate blood, sweat, and tears. They better. Otherwise, they're not gonna be able to get in good with their foot in the door, especially since they want to come back. That means that they are of a subpar position. And they're going to have to work their way up back into getting your trust again, just to a basic ground neutral level. Why? Because of the stuff that they played. So the thing is that the Star card represents how this is a situation for you Leos, where you need to learn to be more like Aquarius. You need to learn to be more like them. Stop playing around, you know what I'm saying, having all this passion for people, you know what I mean, and people playing games with you in the sense of trying to get on your side. Be the lion. Be the lion, you know what I mean? When it's time to proverbially get up and maul that hyena, that's what it is that you got to do. It doesn't matter if the lion purrs softly or if the lion purrs loudly. When the lion roars, or when the lion opens its mouth, right, and whatever sounds come out of it, the other animals take notice to it, regardless of whether they like the lion or whatever. They take notice to it, right? And the thing is that the Knight of Pentacles represents this being a situation for this, where you Leos also too need to also start getting your paper up, start getting your money up. You know, right around now, the only thing that a lot of you Leos should really be worried about too much is being single and being ready to mingle. And if people want to rock with you, right? If your exes and stuff like this want to come back, because we are going into a Mercury retrograde, what you Leos need to do, this is just my suggestion, but what you Leos should be doing is, y'all Leos should be playing them. Y'all should be out here. Move. Y'all should be out here playing them. Y'all should be out here, you know, smashing and dashing, because these was individuals that was never trying to do right by you anyway. So why is there a lot of you Leos having chivalry in that sense with them, or it, you know, it's played out, or don't even mess with them, or break them for some money? You know, they want to hang out with you again. Okay, give me this. You know, next week I'm going to ask you for this. You know, or the next day or whatever. And if you don't have it, nope, sorry, can't talk to you. I'm doing other things right now. Because, again, they never had any kind of common sense. See, it's a very curious thing when people play all these types of games and they willfully be disrespectful, and when you try to explain to people, hey, what it is that you did, it caused me some pain. Why? And people want to act like they don't have any kind of common sense, and I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, but when you give it back to them how it is that they want to play super sensitive, what are you doing? And this is why it is that with all this generational wealth that so many people talk so much about, why it is that people can't build generational wealth is because you're spending all of your time. At some point, it's all going to be our last day. How do you want to spend your time? You can't spend with all this generational wealth crap that people talk about, right, Leos? People got to understand that everything is time management. So you can't be out here talking about how you want to build generational wealth, but yet you're doing things that is the dialectically opposite of building generational wealth, like wasting time trolling people. What type of time are you on? That's my cat. What type of time are you on? Because the truth is, if they wanted to build generational wealth with you, those people who represent this past relationships that caused you pain, they would still be in relationships with you. But no, they thought they were too good. They thought they were too good. Okay. Weird. Now they bringing they goofy selves back here like an old wet dog, tail tucked in between its legs, trying to figure out what's going on. What's going on is the tables flipped, the script flipped, and you're up now. So let's clarify the Knight of Pentacles. So that didn't take long. The Hierophant, the Queen of Cups, the Hierophant, the Queen of Cups, and the Two of Swords. So the Hierophant represents you. You need to understand that it shouldn't be taken as anything personal to this person. It shouldn't be taken as anything personal to this person. Right? You're just doing what it is that you need to do. Okay? This person, I'll say this, they may get mad at you if you start treating them coldly. It is what it is. Stop caring so much. You shouldn't care. Because remember, they burned that bridge. It's past the point of no return for them. You know, and then things that the Queen of Cups and the Two of Swords represents this being a situation for you where the Queen of Cups is that they want you to have compassion. This is what I'm talking about. They want you to have compassion, you know, and they want to play as if they guarded. Nah, that's bull. You continue to play them if that's what it is that you want to do, because they looked for that. Because what was going on in their mind where they thought to themselves that it was a good idea to actually go out here into the world and actually get at people like that. That makes sense to them. Yeah, I'm gonna do my best to inflict pain on people because you're an idiot is why. Because what it is those types of people never really been in some real stuff. Because real people know who's been in some real stuff, and it's an entirely different mannerisms and ways that people move is how it is that you're able to determine who's real ones and who's not. And most of these individuals, they're laughing. They are goofy beyond belief. They are softer than what you Leos think. And you Leos better wake up and smell the coffee and understand that, again, you are the lion. And you need to stop acting like whatever. You are the royal of the jungle. So, you know, that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe. Peace.